Fergalicious, you are only as good as your black-eyed peas cup. It's 6 a.m. My name is Chase. I'm a personal trainer from Pittsburgh. We're right outside of my home gym, and unlike most mornings, I don't have anybody coming to train today. I don't have any meetings scheduled today. Today, I'm just here to do one thing, and that is to execute the perfect day of eating. This is what the perfect day of eating and exercising looks like according to dietitians. I went to Google, typed in what is the perfect diet. This is the first article that came up. The 3 golden rules of the day are: 1, have a meal or snack every 3 to 4 hours. 2, combine protein and fiber at every meal. And 3, get up, move around, and drink water often. We are following that schedule. We got up at 6 a.m. and we are starting the day with a glass of lemon water. While you sleep, you're not only abstaining from food, but you're also abstaining from water. So it's important to have water as the first thing in your body. Hey, your body's like made of water, right? But they also mention how the acidity in the lemon is actually a bonus because it makes your digestive tract a little more alkaline so that you have a chance for good gut bacteria to populate. And I ain't the expert on that, but I will tell you I like the addition of lemon in my water. It's pretty damn good. These birds are going today. All right, these guidelines look pretty good. There is dessert. I like it. Next thing is to get some quick exercise in at 7 a.m. and they recommend a short morning walk, which is awesome because I already go for a walk basically every morning. So I'm gonna go for that walk and we will check in for breakfast. Wham bam, thank you ma'am. It is time for breakfast, which is the most important meal of the day, serving it up Mabel's way. So for breakfast, they recommend something that is high in fiber and contains protein. I'm for it. So they recommended oatmeal and specifically overnight oats for something that you can just have on hand. It's really easy to meal prep and it's a great breakfast option for busy people. I used a half a cup of oats and an entire cup of milk. And according to their guidelines, I also threw in some yogurt and some berries. So we're gonna dump it into a bowl and see how it turned out. So we're a little bit on the runny side, but really not that bad. All I would do is reduce the amount of milk by a little bit. I think 3/4 of a cup is plenty for a half a cup of oatmeal. And they also advise that I top it with a small handful of walnuts to add some healthy fats to the day, help me stay satiated. And they said not to sip on caffeine until after breakfast. Now this is decaf coffee, so hey, I ain't playing by the rules. Actually, I'm gonna play by the rules to my best ability, so let's have a bite, let's dig in. I'll tell you what, maybe I was doing overnight oats wrong. Maybe the slight runniness is a good thing. I'm liking it. I do want to add some salt though. Pretty cool. So with every meal, they provided some options and some calorie ranges. And they divided the calories per meal out throughout the day based on how many calories you should be consuming. And all they wrote in the article is that the recommended daily calorie intake varies from person to person from about 1,550 to 2,100. So personally, I'm just gonna let you know that I weighed in this morning at 155 pounds. I'm a 25-year-old man and I eat way more than 2,100 calories a day. I'm gonna err on the high side of these calorie ranges. I'm still gonna listen to their guidelines. They're giving me the 300 to 400 calorie range for breakfast. I'm pushing it to exactly 400 calories. Now, if you don't know how many calories you need, I already have a video about that. I'll bloop it up here. And you also see that I threw in a hard-boiled egg because that was one of the options on the paper here. And I figured, hey, that's a good way to help me hit my 400 calories for breakfast. We got some protein, we got some fat, we got some unfertilized chicken embryo. This day's off to a good start. So while I was out on my morning walk, I asked my Instagram followers what they thought would be part of a healthy daily routine, and I got a lot of good responses in here. One that I really like is gratitude, and that's something that I try to do every morning. I just get out my journal, and every day I write down 3 things that I'm grateful for. I know it sounds hokey, but really it kind of gets your mind in that headspace that, hey, life doesn't have to suck that bad. All right, breakfast is down. I feel really satiated. I like that approach to overnight oats, you know, maybe a little bit runny, maybe a little soupy, but it was pretty damn good. And I feel like I'm gonna be full for quite a while. So I'm gonna start my work day. I'm gonna get behind the computer and I will check in with you guys at the next point on this list here, which is 9 a.m. And that is drink your second glass of water. They recommend drinking your water throughout the day, kind of in the same way that I recommend you get your walks in throughout the day, which conveniently they recommend walks throughout the day as well. And you'll see as this day progresses, there's basically a short stretch and walk session before every meal, which I think is excellent. They recommend just drinking enough so that your pee is not bright yellow or clear, but somewhere in the middle. That's probably a good way to know if you're dehydrated or not. I generally try to have at least a gallon of water a day. And instead of just having a glass right now, I make sure that I am always drinking out of this blender bottle, and I feel fill this up many times throughout the day. So I'm not really gonna track this water thing, but I am gonna let you know that I'm sipping on water. We are working away at the standing desk. And on Instagram, I had a fellow personal trainer write in on an essential part of a healthy day, and he recommended Wim Hof breathing. Now, if you don't know what that is, it's basically a breathing technique where you breathe deeply into your diaphragm and then hold your breath for like 2 minutes at a time. It's freaking crazy. I have a video on it. I'll link it in the description. So thanks to Cam's recommendation, I went and did some Wim Hof breathing, took a cold shower, and here I am. Definitely feels like a healthy day so far. We'll see where it goes. Cheers, and it is 10:30, which means it is time for another small snack. Now, we just had a stretch session followed by a brief walk. Sorry, I can't get the wrapper off my cheese stick. Thing's childproof. Mabel, can you help me out? Jeez. They recommended an apple and some string cheese, but they also mentioned that it might be nice to have some yogurt or cottage cheese just to pack that protein punch. And they also recommended a small handful of nuts if you didn't have them with breakfast. But in order to max out the calories for this meal, I gave myself the cottage cheese with some nuts. I gave myself a string cheese stick, which I failed to open, and now is more like a couple blocks of string cheese. And then we have our apple all diced up, which is one thing I love to do with apples. I think they just taste better if you dice them, and then you can do this beautiful thing where you use them as a little apple spoon. For your cottage cheese. Buddy, I'm sorry. But I do love the way these dietitians recommend you eat, which is once every 3 to 4 hours. Like, I feel like a lot of people operate out of a scarcity mindset where they're trying to reduce the amount of meals that they have. They're always trying to cut back. If you just allow yourself to have meals more frequently throughout the day, there's not that much anticipation around food. I mean, they actually cite in this article that it is a way to prevent mealtime binges, you know, going overboard at meals and feeling too full. If food is just a normal thing, if you're eating more frequently, you might be more used to stopping whenever you're full. But having the framework of a couple plates and a couple snacks every day is what I think is an essential to either maintaining your weight, increasing or decreasing your weight. It's that when you have these consistent variables, you're in a really good place so that you can just adjust those variables by just adjusting one of the snacks or one of the meals. Before you can make changes to your diet, you have to have a pretty steady diet. And so far today, I'm liking this diet. I love this combination of apples and cottage cheese, especially if you top it with a little cinnamon and salt. Don't knock it till you try it. The salt goes a really long way on apples, on any fruit really. Any sweets, put a little bit of salt on it. They also remind you to sit while you eat, which generally slows down the pace that you eat and makes you a little more mindful about the meal or snack that you're having. And they also mention the fact that chewing more allows your body to absorb more nutrients from the meal. So take your time, eat slow, relax, hang out with your friend and chill. So my followers on Instagram are making great recommendations right now. One just said stretch 5 minutes every morning, which I did a 15-minute stretch session this morning. Didn't realize that these dietitians were gonna have me stretching all day, so today's gonna be loaded with stretching. Water, movement, and a calorie intake that works for your current needs. Don't just eat someone else's calories, eat your calories. Gratitude, quality sleep, waking up at the same time every day. And what I really like here is Jess Glasser wrote in, live by routines. Same stuff, different day. Consistency is boring but effective, and that is totally true. You ever feel like someone's watching you? Thank you for being a good buddy. All right, we're gonna get back to work. This has been a brief snack, and I'm gonna update you for the next thing on the timeline here, which is 11:30, refill your water, take some vitamins, and stretch. So they recommend that you take your vitamins shortly before lunch because some B vitamins and other minerals can help your body utilize carbs as energy. If you suffer from like a post-lunch crash, having your vitamins shortly before lunch might be helpful. And a little pro tip, I store my daily vitamins in this little container. Yeah, I'm like an old man. But hey, I never forget to take my vitamins. But I usually do take them in the morning, so we'll see if anything changes from taking them midday. I highly doubt it. And now is the time when I'm also gonna add some creatine to my water. Now, creatine is something that I think everybody should be taking. They didn't write about it in the article. It really helps with muscle retention, especially as you age. If you're not taking creatine, look into it. It's one of the very few supplements that I do believe in. So I'm gonna add some of this to my water, have a quick stretch session, and get back to work. Cheers. Boom, it's lunchtime. I got me a seltzer water and a big ass salad. I am beyond excited for this. And just like they recommend, we are continuing to sip on water all day, but I do like to have the occasional seltzer water just to mix things up a bit. One thing I really like to do is add a little apple cider vinegar to it. Not because apple cider vinegar is magic, just because it tastes like kombucha. Now they said for lunch that you want to make time to eat away from your computer. They recommend getting outside and savoring every single bite of your meal. For a salad, they say start with dark leafy greens, pile them high, mix on veggies. The more color on the salad, the better. So I made this sweet and savory chicken balsamic watermelon salad. I highly recommend trying this out. So for the protein option, they recommended chicken, which is super convenient because me and my fiance meal prep tons of chicken every week and basically use it in our meals throughout the week. And they said that for the dressing, you want to have a little bit of fat, so you want it to be olive oil based and preferably even get that dressing on the side. Now, since I made my own, obviously I'm gonna put it in the salad, not on the side. And my recipe for this dressing went a little something like this: a tablespoon of balsamic vinegar mixed with 2 tablespoons of a light raspberry vinaigrette. Then I threw in some non-fat Greek yogurt, stirred that all together with a half a tablespoon of olive oil, and then I added my chicken to that and let it soak overnight. And the salad base of spinach, like I said, also has tomatoes, carrots, watermelon. And at the end, I like to do this little thing where I top it with a little bit of a crunch. This is about 8 grams of crushed up pretzels. It's like my alternative to croutons. Without further ado, let's have a bite, right? And I used 120 grams of chicken breast, but if you're watching your calories or don't need as much protein as me, you can go ahead and scale that down to whatever you need. So they do recommend that if you're having a lot of salads that you get adventurous and mix it up every day so that you get a nice variety of vitamins and minerals. And that's something that's a follow through throughout these entire guidelines. They really recommend that you don't just eat the same thing every day, have variety within the consistency. And I also have to mention that I really love, they said I'm allowed to have a piece of bread with this meal. People love their bread, and if you feel deprived without it, it's better to have the extra 100 calories than to maybe risk going overboard later when you get around bread because you think, oh no, bread's bad. No, you can have some bread, calm down. One slice of bread is better than a whole damn pizza. So my fiance just got home bringing me a watermelon kombucha, which pairs perfectly with this watermelon salad. Incredible. And I was already at the top of the calorie limit for this meal, which they recommended 400 to 500, so I'm already at 500. This officially makes it 560. Guys, I'm sorry, I'm not playing by the rules. But damn, that is good. And we will catch you at the next check-in, which is 2 p.m., a little bit of movement, some stretching, a quick walk, and remember to keep drinking water. And I just got my walking and stretching session, and I realized that it's really easy to continue walking throughout the day if you have a dog. So I just walked Mabel briefly because I need to obviously take her out to pee and poop, and I'm already at 7,800 steps. When I got in from the walk, I rolled around on the floor with Mabel for a little bit, which is actually, in my opinion, a really good way to get some movement and to roll around on the floor with your little dog. Really wake up your nervous system, really get the limbs moving in ways that you don't usually move, like actually get down and play. Then afterwards, I picked up the old mobility stick and did a quick couple routines, which if you don't know anything about a mobility stick, it's basically these kind of movements, opening up the shoulders, working on shoulder retraction. If you think this is kind of cool and you want some inspiration, I do have a video, so you can check that out. And I'm gonna keep working away and living my life in accordance with the guidelines from these dietitians. But I will note that I was not able to finish this kombucha with lunch just because I was too full from the lunch to really enjoy the kombucha. So I'm just gonna keep sipping on this, and I decided to add the calories from this to my next snack of the day. What really matters most is the totality of your diet. And when you really zoom out, it's less about each individual day and it's more about the entire week, the entire month, the entire year of behaviors that make you you. So if you feel like you went off track and had a slice of pizza or a slice of cake at any given moment, know that you can get right back on track with the next meal of the day or the next snack of the day. And for me, the next snack of the day will be literally just the rest of this kombucha, because dietitians do recommend a mid-afternoon snack, but at the end of the paragraph they say, hey, don't force it if you don't want it, especially if you're gonna work out. It might be wise to save that snack for after a workout. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna have some pre-workout carbohydrates in the form of some healthy kombucha. And then after the workout, we're gonna have a snack just like they recommend. First, we're gonna head to the gym. I got a bench press session. And I gotta say, my least favorite thing about these dietitians so far is they recommend that you train in the evening. For now, we're gonna go head to the gym that I work in, Fitness 19, and I'll catch you on the other end. Cheers. Boom, and it is time for a post-workout snack. So if you can tell, my gym that I work at, Fitness 19, let's see if we can do some rack focus. It is right back there, conveniently located right next door to a Panera Bread. So in accordance with these dietitians' guidelines, it's time for an afternoon snack, and they recommended a piece of fruit. They actually recommended a banana, which is a pretty high calorie fruit, but I'm totally cool with that because I just got a workout in and I love to have a lot of carbs after I work out. And they recommended pairing it with a source of protein or some dark chocolate, and I like that because I love me some chocolate. And they of course cited the antioxidant properties of chocolates. They didn't cite the fact that it's an aphrodisiac, so I don't know why they're missing out on that one. So I like to get me a decaf coffee, and then I mix it with some chocolate protein powder and a scoop of cacao, and then I mix it with my decaf coffee. Oh, and there you go, high protein hot chocolate. I'm just gonna enjoy me a banana. So those dietitians did me dirty and making me work out in the evening. That's the first time I've worked out in the evening in a long time, but I actually did hit the bench press PR that I was going for. So we got 4 sets of 5 at 105-pound dumbbells, which I was pretty excited about. And there was actually someone in the gym that spotted me for one of the sets, so that was pretty cool. So maybe training in the evening ain't that bad after all. Still, I don't know if it's for me, but I'll tell you what is for me, dinner. What's for dinner? We'll see. Wine, that's what's for dinner. Well, not just wine, we're actually having a meal that pairs very nicely with wine, but the reason I have white wine with me today is because I'm following the captain's orders. This dietitian says that it is fine to have a glass of wine with dinner from time to time, and I think, hey, if this is the perfect day, then why not make it perfect, have the perfect wine pairing for what they recommend as a dinner dish, which is, give me 1 second, I'm gonna turn off the air fryer here, which is salmon. And this is the first time that I've ever cooked salmon in the air fryer, so we'll see how that turns out. They recommend 3 to 4 ounces of grilled salmon for dinner because it has lean protein and provides healthy omega-3 fatty acids. According to registered dietitians, if you have some soup before your meal, you're less likely to overeat at that meal. And one last note on the wine, a 4-ounce pour comes out to about 100 calories for most Sauvignon Blancs. And although this is made with organic grapes, it doesn't add any real nutritional value to the wine. If you wanna have wine, I would probably say stop trying to defend it and just drink some damn wine. So I'm gonna finish cooking dinner for me and my fiance, and I'll show you the final product. Boom, cheers. All right, you guys will have to excuse me because I just made this nice meal and then took like 15 minutes to set up the shot, so I'm just freaking out. Here's our nice dinner together. This is the registered dietitian special. We have our fish, we have our side of grains, and a side of sauteed vegetables, starting with a nice broth-based soup of miso. We're just gonna dig in. First time I made salmon in the air fryer, did it turn out? It's flaky.
That's how salmon should be.
The air fryer is where it's at. I can talk to the camera, but not when other people are around. In every eating video I've done lately, I've drank in it. But I don't drink very often. It just happens to be in the videos. I think it's because it's stressful. By the end of the day, I'm like, the dietitian said I should have a drink. I'm like, damn it, this dietitian. The air fryer salmon is really good. Does it taste like a registered dietitian's meal?
Just tastes like what we eat for dinner.
No, it's been like a super normal day.
Yeah, no, genuinely, actually. I did eat some nachos this morning.
Part
My
of the
normal
side.
day of eating.
Yeah. At least you're getting your omega-3 fatty acids in.
You had a plan in your head about this, and it shows.
Yeah, it's all tied together with the lemon vibe. There's a little basil follow through.
It's very good.
Thank you.
I will say,
check out this cat.
Hey, you want some salmon? Hey, look.
You just slung salmon at a cat?
Yeah, it's a little stray baby. I'm gonna give our dog this.
That's for Mabel. All right, well, welcome to the last meal of the day, which is, as I promised earlier, dessert. Do you want a snack? Yes or no?
Yes.
So as the dietitians recommended, I did get a little bit of walking in between dinner and dessert, taking Mabel out for her last potty run. And they recommend that you do enjoy an evening snack or dessert and that you just plan for it in your day so that you know it's coming. That way you don't wind up at the end of the day craving something and then feeling guilty about it. It's good to just know that you're gonna have dessert and know that you have healthy options and just have them around. And they recommended chocolate and fruit. Now I went the extra mile and made my own kind of chocolate spread. This is my DIY Nutella dip. It's high protein, low calorie, and I actually have a recipe for it, so if you're interested, I'll link that up here and in the description below. Basically, protein powder, powdered peanut butter, a little bit of chocolate. Whole lot of delicious. I eat this Nutella in one form or another pretty much every day. And that kind of makes me think about the entire day. How much the registered dietitian way of eating, their idea of a perfect day is so much in line with a lot of the ways that I already go about eating and a lot of the ways that I recommend my clients go about eating just so they can maintain a healthy weight and a healthy relationship with food over time. And just to reiterate from the beginning of the day, the guidelines were have a meal or small snack every 3 to 4 hours, combine protein and fiber at every meal, and get up, move around, and drink water often. And the total calories for the day come out to around 2,200 calories, 258 grams of carbs, 61 grams of fat, and 166 grams of protein. Not bad at all. I hit the higher end of all these calorie ranges, and it was nice that they let us know in the article. Everyone needs different calories, so based on your needs, you could adjust the meals, and I definitely did adjust it and make it my own. And I think that's the important thing about a perfect day, right? Because I adjusted it and made it my own. So was it really a perfect day? Was it perfectly in line with what they laid out? No, it wasn't. but it was good enough, and I still hit a lot of my goals throughout the day. Still got 12.5 thousand steps in. I got a workout in. It wasn't absolutely perfect, but it was good enough. And I think that's what dedicating a day to following this routine really got me to think about, is that it's better to strive for good enough than it is to strive for perfection. When I reflect on this day and pretty much every day I've lived for the past couple of months, I know that none of them were absolutely perfect, but the cumulative total of so many good enoughs have added up to me living a life in a body that I'm pretty happy and healthy with. If that makes any sense. I'm gonna get my snack on. We're probably gonna watch some Anthony Bourdain or something. I hope this video gave you some ideas for how you can incorporate some of these registered dietitian strategies into your own life. Just know that you don't have to be perfect, you just have to be good enough. Pretty cool. But anyway, please like this video and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.